Hello, hello, and welcome to Community TV with Adaire. This is TV for you by TV from me. And in this show, I talk to people who are bringing amazing things to their local communities to help them. People like gardeners and healers and PT, that's physical training for those of you who are couch potatoes, and vegan cooks and everything in between. Today we are speaking to an amazing young man, Cameron Garth. Now, Cameron is passionate and determined. His childhood inner experience was turmoil. He was always emotional, anxious, and depressed, and he didn't like the path that he was on. He was introduced to emotional freedom techniques, which is EFT, when he was 17 by a friend's mum, and he's been practicing it ever since. He went on to become a qualified practitioner in EFT. Anxiety, depression, emotional well-being has always been close to his heart through his own experience and seeing loved ones face the same battles. Cameron now works with people who are experienced disadvantaged lifestyles through mental health issues and drug and alcohol addictions. He invites you to join his free Facebook group, and we'll talk about that in a little while. And also he has a page where you can connect with him, and we're bringing him in now. Hello and welcome, Cameron.
Hello, thank you, Adaire.
How are you?
Yes, I'm great, thank you.
Great to be here. So if you're here viewing as a part of the audience, please jump in and say hi. I'd love to know where you're from. And also, if you have, Glenn's here. Glenn is our local Rotary Club president. Thank you for joining us, Glenn. Really appreciate that. If you know of anybody who is experiencing any of the symptoms or any of the issues that I mentioned in Cameron's introduction, you might like to think about what's your pup's name?
That's a dog. No, sorry, just bear with me.
No, that's okay. This is live broadcast. We always have that photo bombing or crashing the party.
Yeah.
So we would, if you do know of anyone who would really benefit from this information, we'd love for you to make sure that they find out about it. Now, Cameron, you're Glenn saying hi. We've got Amira here from South Africa. Wow. That's wow. And Christy is here as well. Christy, when are we going to see you? Your name up in lights. We want to see you as well. And Sharon's here from Port Lincoln. Welcome, welcome. Please remember, if you know of anybody who could use this information and they need to hear about it, let them know. So, Cameron, you were saying, and it sounds like you've gotten over the sensitivities or worked through them or worked with them to help yourself through anxiety and depression. And part of your journey, do you want to share as much as you want to, obviously, with us about how you sort of came to be sitting here today?
So I was quite a frustrated and irritated teenager, at a loss, and sort of closed people off, which is the opposite to what I really wanted in life. And I suppose I just reached out for something better, something that could potentially help me in that way. And I happened to find my friend's mum. She was a EFT practitioner at the time. So she introduced me to EFT and various other holistic techniques. So I actually had chronic asthma. I always wanted to be very active, but I was limited by my asthma and all that sort of stuff, which made me quite angry, because all I wanted to do was run and be active and play sports. So I guess I was determined to break through that. And on the journey, I've just learned so much about my own feelings and emotions and how to deal with my own feelings and emotions, stress, and building confidence and self-esteem, which is about having a different experience, so that we can respond, and we can trust ourselves to be able to respond in a situation that serves us, basically. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, and yeah, really enjoying it.
So for a 17-year-old, I think that's quite amazing, really. I have a 17-year-old at home here now. He's actually not. He's at the movies with his dad, but he's an NLP master practitioner and a certified hypnotherapist, and he doesn't use those skills, mind you, but I'm sure they'll come into play when he's older. But what I wanted to know, I'm really curious, because until I've met you and heard your story about becoming, first of all, I'll ask you that question in a minute, but first of all, for those of you who don't know what emotional freedom technique is, could you just explain a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, sure. So EFT comes from the ancient holistic healing practice of acupuncture, but without penetrating the skin with needles. We focus on various meridian lines through the body. Mostly what I do is I use people's hands, and we tap on different meridian lines that are connected through all the body functions and everything to clear blocks, energetic blocks. So when we enter fight, flight, or freeze response, the first point of dis-ease and discomfort in the body is your feelings and emotions. So at that point, we're choosing fear or to be held back, and we're in stress or stress mode. So we need to free that tension from ourselves to be able to move through our fears, if you like, to move forward or press forward. But often what we do is we get stuck at fear and we don't move past it, or we don't allow ourselves to learn and grow from a situation. We don't find a way to respond in a situation that serves us, and so we're stuck in fear. And over time, the energetic, the emotion, the traumas of everything adds up and builds up, and it becomes physical tension in the body, eventually aches, pains, and eventually disease in the body. Disease. So we can reverse the process of all the discomfort in the body by going back to how you feel about things, a way of thinking, a way of feeling.
And you do that with tapping. Is that you?
Yeah, we do that with tapping. So the idea, sorry.
No, you go on. Go on. I'm fascinated.
So the idea of any like meditation, EFT, and a lot of other practices is to bring the emotion up so that we can become consciously aware of it. And what people need to realize is that feeling, that emotion, it has a message for you. We need to understand why we're feeling the way that it is. And I see my feelings and emotions as if it doesn't feel good, then I'm off track, of course, from my greater path, and also my true individuality and who I am as a person, or who I aspire to be and want to be as a person. As opposed to good feeling, then I'm on track and on course. That sounds very simple. Obviously, it does get a little bit more complex than that, but if we can begin to choose our thoughts, choose our feelings, we're choosing a direction rather than thinking that our feelings are a part of us and a part of our identity. Like, you are not depression, you're not anxiety, but you're experiencing it, and you're experiencing it for a reason. And if we can recognize why we're experiencing it, then we can shift.
Yes. Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody. I've got a bit of feedback here. Hang on. I was having that conversation with somebody about anxiety, and I've sort of feel like I've done it all and had it all and been it all, and with depression, anxiety, and asthma, and all of that sort of stuff. But I'm at the other end now. I've got a question here, Robin. Before we go back to the other question, wants to know: can you show us on your hands? So when you use the tapping, and welcome, Robin, and welcome from Texas too. Brandon's here from Texas.
Yes.
So we've got a global audience. Welcome, everybody. Just remember, if you have friends that would benefit from hearing this information, please make sure you let them know. So what does it look like? I think this is what Robin's asking. What does it actually look like?
Yep. So traditional EFT, we tap on meridian lines, and you have meridians running right through your hands and right through your body as well. Each finger is attached to all different parts of the body, all the different meridian lines that run through the chakra or energy system of the body. So if you were to tap, even pinch or massage any fingertips, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like that.
Yeah, just like that. And even if you want to tap, and this is the karate chop as well, is another one. And for anxiety, actually, just between your ring finger and your pinky finger, just in there, is a really good one for anxiety. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never knew that.
So if you're, say, in a public area and you want to use EFT for a little bit of comfort, then you can sort of do it discreetly. You can just sort of put your hands in your lap and just sort of tap on it.
Yeah. Robin's saying that she suffers from anxiety and her stomach holds all of her anxiety and then suffers badly. So, Robin, have you tried tapping at all? As there's probably a lot of things that a lot of people have tried, but and tapping is definitely one of those things that, you know, these things are the alternative. I call them alternative healing, and they've definitely come to the fore. I think with the advent of, you know, social media and people connecting on a global scale and being able to help each other in a much have a much wider reach than what we would if we would just set up sort of a clinic in our backyard. And I certainly found that as a hypnotherapist as well. Yeah. But so Robin's saying that the anxiety holds her stomach holds the anxiety. Is that something that's common where it gets stored in a certain place in your body, or is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So and firstly, can I just say as well, so EFT is like a tool, and a lot of these things are a great tool to use. But what we really want to do is have a different experience. So if through the pattern you're used to being anxious and you're used to being maybe socially awkward or fearful of the past, how we perceive our environment is we apply logic and reason and analysis based on our interpretation of the only way to make sense of it is in relation to the past, which sometimes doesn't make any sense because it doesn't have to be present right now in your experience, although we have the feelings coming up. So often if we're feeling uneasy, it is from the past, that we don't understand what's happening in the situation now. And if the pattern has been anxiety, then we need to break that pattern. And the only way to break that pattern is to have a different experience, an experience that says that actually I'm okay. And then we can start to build confidence and self-esteem and start to build resilience in our ability to handle situations. So what's coming up for you, Robin, is the anxiety in your solar plexus is the past. Basically, it's potentially things that you feel like you've done wrong, things that you've been made to feel that you've done wrong, whatever it might be. But we're also afraid that it's going to happen again, or that we're not going to be accepted by people. And it's a necessity for man or mankind to feel accepted, to feel loved, and to feel like of value to others. And if we feel at all like we're not going to get that from someone else, then there's differences and there's tension and there's suspicion. So we could feel judged and all those sort of things as well.
So a quick for Robin is there? I suppose you can't over tap, can you?
You can't over tap. No, not at all. You can't over tap. So we want to tune into what you're feeling now and tune into your solar plexus and just bring that emotion up. We can tap around it and tap on it and see what comes up for you. I would also what I do with some people is what's called the zero technique, where you'd number it, scale it, and would just breathe, see the number before you, and then clear it out. And that helps us just to clear our minds and release the emotional attachment and become objective, to our feelings and emotions, so that we can look at a probable solution more clearly, a potential path or another result, another outcome.
And I think it's I've had a success story where I've actually used tapping to cure me from something. And I'm happy to share it, but it sort of makes me feel a little bit weird and vulnerable. But I actually think that this sort of thing, if it helps other people, I'm happy to share my experiences. That I think tapping, I've got some amazingly beautiful friends who do EFT as well. And one of them, I had this, I'd call it an addiction to peppermint. And it was to the point, like peppermint protein balls, and it wasn't just, when you make them, I wouldn't just put like a couple of drops. I'll be putting that really expensive stuff in half a bottle, and then getting the peppermint spray and peppermint chewies and all that. And I just thought after a while, sort of months of doing this, well, it's probably not the healthiest thing to be that stuck on something. And so I went to a session with a local session with a friend of mine, and she actually used me she said, "Come on, you get up here if you want." And I went, okay. So I forced myself. That was tough. That was really hard to do that in a group. But I walked out of there with the peppermint tapped out of me. I had now I can have peppermint tea and stuff like that. That's why I used to drink peppermint tea, but now it's not on the radar at all. But it's just really interesting how that can form, and it turned out that was a replacement for some emotion that I was lacking or needing at some point in my past, as you say. So I know it works. I know this stuff is great. Amira is sharing. I'll put this up on screen, Amira. But it's a lot of words, and it's going to cover our faces, so we look like foo. I don't think you can see it from your end, Cameron, but when you look at the replay, you can just see your eyes. So you go like this.
Okay, no worries.
So Amira says, I often suffer from anxiety where I feel I cannot breathe, and I find it hard to calm myself down at most times. Is it from the stress load where I cannot manage anymore? And is this anxiety also sent me into and this anxiety has also sent me into labour 4 weeks early with your baby girl. Oh, my dear. Yeah. Oh, my dear. Well, sending you love, Amira, because that's, to bring a child into the world when you're suffering that much anxiety must be, have you got some words that you can help Amira with?
Well, in this particular situation, if it's overwhelming anxiety, you can't really remove yourself from all the stresses. If there is any way to remove yourself from some of the stresses, take plenty of time to relax and concentrate on your breathing. If there's any way that you find yourself facing a situation that you really can't deal with now, then remove yourself, go away, maybe tap, breathe, gain yourself back. And for things like that, I think we need to sort of build it up to entering into those kind of, build up the confidence and all that sort of stuff before we go during high overwhelming situations that we've in the past responded with anxiety.
Yeah, that's actually lead into mentioning that you do have an online community where you help people. I did mention it earlier in the introduction. So could you perhaps explain a little bit about how that works for people?
Yeah, sure. So I put posts up there. We have a process that helps people to go through their feelings and emotions and really just raise awareness as to the importance of listening to your heart, your feelings, your emotions, and understanding why it is that they're there, and how we can deal with stress and start moving forward in our lives. I post up videos, advice, insight, And there's lots of other people, professionals, and just people who care, that post in ideas and insights that they've experienced in their life, and they share that with the group. It's a private group as well, so people that we make sure that there are people that are actually in need, and it's a safe place to express yourself, and it's a safe place to share your information and get the help that you need.
Yeah. And Cameron's group, it is called, Cameron, you might have to help me here.
Stress relief, confidence, and self-esteem building.
And it's actually, there's a link to it in the post above, like in the text above. So you're welcome to join his community, join in the community, and get some help there. So all the best, Amira. Really do. Well, congratulations on your baby girl, and I'm sure everything's going to be fine. So now I did want to go back to the 17-year-old Cameron, who's decided to do EFT, because like I was saying before, my son is 17, was 13 when he did his hypnotherapy certification, and 15, on his 15th birthday, he spent doing a weekend workshop as part of his diploma of life coaching for the Life Coaching Institute in Melbourne. And Amira saying thank you. You're welcome, hon. Anything else, please ask.
Thank you. Yeah.
Join the group or reach out to Cameron as well. There's his link to his business page up there in the text above as well. And at the time when we did the NLP Master Practitioner training, he was the only. There was two others that we knew of around Australia that were doing that. And when he did the life coaching diploma, they said that that he was probably the youngest one that they'd actually ever had through. So he spent the weekend with his dad doing part of this. So, well, I'm just curious, but I mean, we sort of got him because, both his father and I have both done hypnotherapy and NLP, and his father's gone on to do the coaching. So it's a bit interesting that, I suppose it's no accident that he's sort of been dragged along for the ride, but he was a willing participant. But from a 17-year-old young boy's perspective, EFT would have been the last thing that I would have thought about. So what was it for you that really?
So I suppose I didn't really see another way or other ways, but I suppose I don't know what I was looking for in that sense. There had to be something. I think my friend's mum actually had quite an influence on me. We were good friends, and she actually shared the same birthday. We could talk, and I think I was influenced by her in that way. And when she spoke to me about it, I thought, I'll give it a shot. And the first time I ever did it, I just cracked up laughing. It was like, it just felt so ridiculous to me. And then but I kept doing it, and I did the thing. She coached me. She told me, she gave me exercises and stuff to do, tuning in and dealing with my feelings and emotions. We worked around how I was feeling quite often. Just because it worked as well, it was just, I was hooked on it at that point because it was something that I had. And she gave me the faith and the hope in that for me to be able to say that there is something that I can do here, and there was. And I just want to share that as well.
So what you said before, Cameron?
Yeah.
So if you've got anxiety, is there any particular way that you do it before we wind up? Because we're just about out of time, unfortunately. It's gone so fast. But
Yeah,
just
good.
if there's something that you could, for people who do have anxiety, I said, is there any particular way, or you could just sit here and tap?
There's no particular way. That there's a traditional practice. There's different theories. You're not really going to do it right or wrong. I think often people find a particular point that feels good for them. And some people probably even unconsciously do these kind of things without even realizing. Your collarbone's another one as well, to tap on your collarbone or massage your collarbone, sore spots.
Either
Yeah,
or, does it matter?
either or, doesn't matter.
Or both?
So you can tap, you can squeeze, you can massage, whatever. Even just with one hand, if that helps. Whatever's comfortable for you. Don't feel like there's a right way or a wrong way. You're going to get some results from whichever way you do it.
Yeah. Well, I know my friend does tapping. It's a lot around the temples, the nose, and his collarbone.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's amazing, and really, I really appreciate you dropping in and sharing that with us, Cameron. And that's really, really useful information for people who do. If you're here now or watching the replay, just like Cameron said, if you're tapping, it's going to relieve the anxiety, just the act of doing that, because it's focused on the meridian points. Is that what you're saying? And obviously it's taking your focus away from whatever is making you anxious.
Yeah, and we need to do that to clear our minds as well. So the same as we would bring our attention to our breathing or into our heart space, to bring our attention away from our overthinking or our worries and our same sort of thing.
Amazing stuff. Now you can contact Cameron, join his group. The link is above, and also his business page is there. The page is it health?
Subtle health.
Subtle health. I was going to say health by stealth, but
it's good.
Health by stealth. I kind of like that one.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Subtle health, and the name of your group is, you said it before,
Stress relief building, stress relief, confidence and self-esteem building.
Beautiful. An amazing community you've got there too, because I did go over and had a quick peek before, and I saw that it's quite active, and you've got quite a number, over 700 members in there. It's regular, sort of contribution and people talking, and so. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with, Cameron?
No, that's all. Thank you so very much for having me. I'd love to see you all in my group and get to know you. And if there's any way I can help anyone, then please feel free to reach out. That's what it's all about.
Fantastic. So the group, if you need any more help, you'll find Cameron in the group, in the community. Yes. Being active and engaged. Cameron, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to drop you into the lobby and wind up the show, and I'll just see you in a moment.
Thank you.
Oh, hang on. We can't finish yet. We haven't done the heart. Now, for those of you who come regularly to Community TV with Adaire, you will know that at the end of each show, I'll just turn off our names. I do this little thing where I've got each of my presenters nicely framed in a little heart, because it's all about community. So if you could move to your left. There, perfect. Now we just sit here and smile. And brilliant. That's a Kodak moment. So thank you so much, Cameron. I'll speak to you in a minute. Thank you. It's Cameron Garth, everybody, and from Subtle Health, not Health Stealth, Stealthy Health. talking about EFT or emotional freedom technique. What an amazing technique that's going to help you if you have anxiety or if you have addictions, like I spoke about my own personal addiction to peppermint. EFT is an amazing tool to help with a myriad of things, and it's non-invasive and it doesn't involve taking any sorts of medication. So this is Community TV with Adaire. I'm Adaire Palmer. We'll see you next week at 2 p.m. Australian Central Daylight Time on Wednesday afternoon. Bye for now.